share my current makeup routine for having acne prone skin and like active breakouts and scarring that I'm still dealing with. I feel like with trying out different skincare products, I've been able to get my skin to a pretty good place, especially compared to how it was 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I'm honestly very grateful for how my skin has been lately. It's been just like so much better than it was for a period of time. And honestly, when it was at its worst, it like kind of was a struggle at times to like get ready and be confident leaving the house. I feel like one silver lining of having my skin go through that was learning how to do my makeup again and realizing how much I just missed getting ready and doing my makeup. I feel like since I was young, I've always kind of followed the philosophy of like look good, feel good. And especially when I was like really stressed or even like feeling sick, or if I knew my period was coming on, like I would, when I was younger, like straighten my hair or like do these things in preparation for times where I knew I was gonna be not having a good time, so that I could just like put my best foot forward, and that would like help me in my confidence and just the way that I show up. When I was experiencing a lot of bad breakouts, I found it really helpful to watch TikTok videos of girls with acne similar to mine who were having to cover up texture or discoloration and relearning how to do that on myself. And it really, really helped with just my confidence going out. Obviously, looks aren't everything, but it does play a role into how you feel and how you perceive yourself. I feel like I haven't quite mastered how to cover up my acne scars like some of the girlies I've been watching on TikTok, but I do pretty well for me. And honestly, I don't feel a need to have it be like completely erased from my face, because I just don't think that's realistic for like me and my lifestyle and how much effort I want to put into getting ready. But I definitely get it to a place where I just like feel a little bit more confident. This is going to be my slightly higher coverage, not quite glam makeup, but definitely a fuller face than what I do for every day. Every day I'll usually just kind of spot conceal and then do a little bit of like blush and eyebrows and curl my eyelashes. But today I'm gonna do just a little bit more than that to kind of show more of like an acne friendly makeup routine. I actually recently have been starting with eyebrows because I don't really fill in my eyebrows that much anymore. I just like to use a clear brow gel. This is the one I've been using recently. It's the Maybelline Super Lock. I actually need to get a new one of this. It's like basically out, but I've been doing this first so that I don't get any like powder or concealer or anything in my eyebrows, because I feel like it can kind of like flake off and look weird. So I like to just lock them down like this first, and then I go in with the rest of my makeup. I've also picked off the majority of my nails from my last nail video. I think it was 2 videos ago, and I just haven't quite had time to like remove the last little bits of it. So my nails are just looking real rough right now. Also, all of these nails on this hand like broke, but these ones I was able to maintain the length for now. Okay, once my eyebrows are set, I'm not a big foundation girl. I've tried a couple, didn't love them. Also, foundation can be so expensive, and I just like didn't have the budget to try out a whole bunch of different foundations that were acne safe and good coverage for me. I'm using 2 products that I've just been using for a couple years now. When I went to my brother's wedding in September, I actually tried mixing these 2 concealers together, and it kind of created my perfect foundation, and the color match was also insane. I also did this for the very first time getting ready for my brother's wedding, which like looking back on it is kind of insane that I did that, but lucky for me, it worked out well, and now I do this all the time. This is the Morphe Wake Up Artist Under Eye Correcting Concealer. I think something about this being an under eye concealer mixed with this Kosas, I think this is called the Revealer Concealer. I don't know if there's like little reflective thingies or something in this, but usually like an under eye concealer is like brightening. So I think something about like the brightening effect just kind of like mixed together with this gives it such like a real skin look, and it almost looks like I'm like not really wearing as much makeup as I am when I do this little trick. This also color wise is like my perfect color. This is the shade Cashew, and then in my Kosas concealer I use shade 6.3N. Depending on how much coverage I want, I'll kind of do more or less of the Kosas concealer. Today I want kind of just like a medium coverage, so I'm gonna do just slightly more Kosas concealer than the Morphe one. I'm also kind of running low on this, so we'll see how much I can even get out of here. But I like to put them on the back of my hand and then mix them together. I'm just gonna take a brush like this, give it a little mix. And then I'll just go in and start like tapping it onto my skin. And I feel like it like almost is like magic where all of my dark spots just kind of disappear. I like to start down here when there's the most product on the brush and then go up closer to my eyes when there's a little bit less, just so that it doesn't like crease too much under my eyes or look too cakey. And I don't really put as much on my forehead. I kind of just will like take whatever is left over and blend it out a little, and then blend down my neck just so there's no harsh lines. But like I said, this is a pretty good color match for me, so I'm not generally too concerned about that. I've also gone back and forth at which step I do color corrector. This is the Kosas color corrector in the shade Fantasy. I used to do it first, but I've noticed that the consistency of the color corrector is a little bit more dry than just the regular concealer. It was kind of just like giving a little bit more texture than I was wanting when I would do it first. So recently I've been doing it last in terms of like concealers, and I feel like it works a little bit better for me. So I just go over any spots that are still feeling a little bit too visible, and I just tap it in with my finger. Sometimes I'll just kind of like let it hang out on the spot and then come back to it and blend it out. I like to put just a little bit under my eyes, kind of just whatever is left over from the amount I put on the back of my hand. And then I also like to go back in with the Morphe concealer because this is a pretty low coverage concealer. And I'll take a little bit of this and also put it under the eyes. And a little bit on my forehead and chin, just as kind of like bright points. Taking whatever was left over and swiping that on my eyelids. From here, I'll go in with a powder. This is the Bare Minerals Original Mineral Veil. It's a pressed powder and I get it in just the translucent shade. I definitely need a new one. It's completely like shattered and just in little bitty pieces, but it's still fine. And I've actually been using one of these like puffs instead of a brush recently, and I find that it works really nicely at just like pressing everything down, and that is pretty essential for like an acne makeup routine because you don't want any of like the concealing or spot correcting that you just did to like move around your face. So I find that doing this with the little powder puff has been really helpful at just like getting everything to stick. I'll like sometimes just pat it on my hand first to get it like evenly distributed on the puff since everything is in like such little pieces. And I'll just go over any of the spots that are oily slash textured and need a little bit of help not having any of that concealer or color corrector move. After powder, I'll usually go in with a bronzer. This is the Kosas bronzer. When I was really at the peak of like freaking out over my acne and just feeling like nothing was working and nothing was helping, I kind of like panic ordered a lot of Kosas products because this concealer was like the one thing I could put on my face that like the breakouts weren't getting worse, they were getting better throughout the day of wearing makeup. And so that gave me a lot of faith in the brand, and I just like ordered all of my face stuff from there. Like I said, I've been using this forever, like since I was in middle school, which middle and high school was like when my acne was at its worst. So I feel like she's pretty trusty. I'll either go in with like a brush like this, or sometimes I'll do like a smaller brush like this to keep it a little bit more concentrated. And I think that's what I'm gonna do today, because I'm honestly just getting ready to go and watch the US World Cup game with a friend out in the city. So I normally wouldn't even like do a bunch of makeup like this, but I wanted to film this for this week's video because I thought it could be helpful for people. Like it was helpful for me to see someone doing a makeup routine on skin that's not perfect. And then sometimes once it's like placed, I'll go in with this like fluffier brush and just blend it out, because this brush isn't like always the best for blending out bigger surfaces like this. Like I was saying, without wanting anything to move off of the textured spots on my face, I like to kind of go in patting motions, because I find that that's helpful at keeping everything under it where it needs to be and not moving things around too much. And I'm getting ready for something a little bit more casual like this. I like to keep all the colors on my face a little bit more cohesive, and to help with that, I'll just use the same product in a couple different ways. So I love to put a little bit of this bronzer on my eyelids as well. And I like to focus it kind of at the lash line and then like up into the crease just a little bit. And then I'll also sweep a little bit of it onto my lower lash line. Next, I'll go in with a blush. Like I said, I panic ordered a lot of things off of Kosas, and included in that was a blush trio, because I actually used to never wear blush. I thought it like made me look so strange for some reason. I also would avoid like any color on my lips. It just felt like unnatural and not me. It like felt performative in a way. And now I love blush, and I love a lip color that's like very, 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 very similar to my natural lip color. I ordered the Kosas trio of shades. It came with Spellbound, Euphoria, and Dare. Spellbound is a little dark for me, and I feel like for summertime, so I haven't really been using that one as much, but my definite favorite has been Euphoria. It's like a lighter pink color and it has a little bit of shimmer to it. Now that it's summer and I'm a little bit more tan, I feel like this doesn't show up quite as much, so sometimes I'll add in a little bit of Dare higher on my cheekbone and then Euphoria a little bit lower on my cheekbone. I'm gonna start with Dare, and I like to keep it pretty high on my cheekbone. And then I'll take Euphoria and bring it lower onto like the apples of my cheeks and blend that up into the darker shade that I did. A little bit on the nose, and then I also like to put this on my forehead and my chin just to bring a little bit more color back into my face and make everything feel a little bit more natural, even though I'm wearing a bunch of makeup. With trying to keep things cohesive, I'll also take Euphoria and put it on my eyelid, and I'll put this one a little bit more central slash inner part of my eyelid, whereas I kept the bronzer a little bit more on the outer. This is also great travel makeup because it uses slightly fewer products, because all of my eye things are just face things. Since I was in college, I've loved to just like curl my eyelashes and do some brow gel and call that a day when like my skin is a little bit more clear. And it really is wild how much change just curling my eyelashes can make to my face, I feel like. I feel like my eyelashes are like stick straight. If I wear mascara that's not waterproof, they just like straighten right back out, even if I've like taken the effort to curl them. But if I just curl them and do no mascara, it'll usually stay. If I use waterproof mascara, the curl will also hold. So it kind of depends on my mood if I feel like having to take waterproof mascara off at the end of the day. Today, because like I said, I'm just gonna go watch a soccer game. I don't really feel like I want to have to take mascara off at the end of the day, so I think I'm gonna skip that today. But if I were going to like a nicer event or something, I would definitely do a little mascara. The ones I've been loving recently have been from a Japanese brand that I believe you can just find at like Japanese grocery stores. Honestly, multiple of my Asian friends have recommended this brand, so shout out to y'all. But this is the Heroin Make. And then one of these, this one is like a lengthening one, and then this one I got more recently, it's a volumizing one. Like I said, I'm gonna skip these for today, but if I were to put on mascara, it would be these. Sometimes when I skip mascara, I like to go in with a brown eyeliner on my tight line, and it just gives that illusion of my eyelashes being a little bit more voluminous than they actually are. And then I feel like this makes such a difference, but I actually go all the way into like the inner corner. And I feel like that just like makes everything a little bit more intense. It's subtle, but it's there. And this is like one of my favorite little tricks that I like to do. So this eye has the eyeliner and this eye does not yet. And I feel like there's a little bit of a difference. I'll sometimes take like a little angled brush and just get a little bit of eyeliner on there and sweep it onto my lower lash line, focusing it on the outer edge. And this kind of gives that similar illusion of fullness without mascara. Blend that a little bit. For lips, I've been loving this Morphe lip liner in the shade Whipped. It's just like this perfect brownish pink color that I feel like is basically my lip color, but like a little bit different. I don't like to overline my lips because I feel like it like gives me lip dysphoria, but I will kind of go right to the edge of my lip line and then just like softly buff it out. Blend it out, and then I'll just fill in the lip. And then I've been topping that off with this Ole Henrikson peptide lip treatment. I think this is the color Lingonberry Jam Glimmer. So it has a little bit of sparkle to it, which is fun. That has been my current makeup routine for my acne prone skin. I hope this was helpful or at least enjoyable. These are all products that have been working for me, but I feel like everyone's acne prone skin is a little bit different and certain products might not work for you just because they work for somebody else. So definitely try things out at your own discretion and pay attention to the way that your skin reacts to certain things. I gotta head out now to make it to the game on time, but thank you so much for watching this video and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!